When we write, we add details to engage readers and hold their attention. But if these details or modifiers are not added correctly, they can spark confusion, or the meaning of the sentence can become blurred or distorted. If modifiers are not placed correctly, even the intended meaning of the sentence can change. Here, we are talking about misplaced and the dangling modifiers. When modifiers are used correctly, they can make our writing stand out. That is why we need them. The challenge, though, is that even professional writers make the mistake of using misplaced or dangling modifiers. For this reason, in this lesson, we will identify and fix misplaced and dangling modifiers so that there's less chance of us making these mistakes in our writing. The problem occurs when we put an adjective or adverb or a phrase or a clause in the wrong place in a sentence. When we do this, we have a misplaced modifier. An adjective or adverb or a phrase or a clause functioning as an adjective is considered a modifier. Modify means to make small changes to something. Certain adjectives or adverbs can sometimes move around in sentences, and this is fine as long as it does not change the meaning of the sentence. For example, the doctor thoroughly examined the patient, or the doctor examined the patient thoroughly. Although the adverb is in two different places, the meaning of the sentence stays the same. The problem comes when the placement of the adjective or adverb changes the intended meaning of the sentence. When we put a phrase or clause in the wrong place in a sentence, it makes the sentence awkward or confusing or unintentionally humorous. Read these two sentences. Do they have different meanings? The answer is yes, they have different meanings. This sentence, the dog under the tree bit Kiri, is identifying or indicating that that particular dog currently under the tree bit Kiri. The dog bit Kiri under the tree is saying that Kiri was bitten by the dog under the tree. The action took place under the tree. Sometimes modifiers are intentionally used for comic effect. For example, Groucho Marx said, "The other day, I shot an elephant in my pajamas." Read it for yourself silently. What are your thoughts? Did you come up with anything interesting? I have one question for you to help you to decode the statement. How did the elephant get into his pajamas? To test the placement of modifiers and avoid unwanted confusion, follow this three-step process. 1. Ask yourself, what is the modifier? 2. What word does it describe, clarify, or give more details about? And 3. Where should the modifier be placed? Look at this sentence. It has a misplaced modifier. Let us find it and try to fix it. I showed my dog to the veterinarian with fleas. According to step 1, we have to find the misplaced modifier. Do you see a misplaced modifier? The phrase "with fleas" is misplaced. Step 2. What word does it describe, clarify, or give more details about? "With fleas" is giving more information about the dog. Now, where do we put it? We have to put modifying words, phrases, and clauses close to what they modify. In this sentence, "with fleas" modify dog. Take a look. Next, one-word modifiers. These also can easily be misplaced. Which sentence indicates that everyone in the class failed the exam? The second sentence indicates that everyone in the class failed the exam. Which sentence indicates that Jean earned some money? Again, the second sentence. Limiting modifiers are words like only, even, almost, nearly, rarely, and just. Limiting modifiers should appear before the verb only if they modify the verb. If they modify the meaning of some other word in the sentence, they should come before that word. What can you say about the use of only in this sentence? They only interviewed applicants during working hours. Did they do anything else during working hours? This sentence can be revised by putting the adverb only next to the verb it is modifying. For example, they interviewed applicants only during working hours. Working hours is the only time they interviewed applicants. As a rule, sentences should move smoothly from subject to verb to object. Modifiers that interrupt this pattern should be moved to reduce awkwardness. Hong Kong, after more than 150 years of British rule, was transferred back to Chinese control in 1997. Awkward or clear? A little awkward. A better version of this sentence reads, after more than 150 years of British rule, Hong Kong was transferred back to Chinese control in 1997. Clearer. Notice that the second sentence features a smooth, uninterrupted transition from subject, Hong Kong, to verb, was transferred. Avoid split modifiers. Traditionally, grammar rules instructed that a modifier should not divide the two components of the infinitive form of a verb. That is, to plus verb. The weather reporter advised that we could expect it to not rain tomorrow. Awkward. The weather reporter advised that we could expect it not to rain tomorrow. Better. However, in some cases, it is more natural to split the infinitive, as in this example. I cannot bring myself to really like the fellow. The meaning is clear. Unsplitting the infinitive would only result in an awkward construction. For example, I cannot bring myself to like the fellow. Different meaning. Look at another example. The patient should try to, if possible, avoid going up and down stairs. Split. If possible, the patient should try to avoid going up and down stairs. Correct. The patient should try to avoid going up and down stairs if possible. Also correct. Dangling modifiers. You get a dangling modifier when you use an introductory phrase or clause that doesn't logically refer to the rest of the sentence. In other words, the modifying phrase or clause has nothing to modify. This is not as simple to fix as a misplaced modifier. You have to change the grammar somewhat. Take a look at this sentence. Having finished dinner, the cricket match was turned on. What is the modifier modifying? Remember, modifiers go next to the words or phrases they modify. There are 3 ways to fix dangling modifiers. 1. Name the appropriate doer of the action or the subject of the main clause. For example, having finished dinner, Jude turned on the cricket match. 2. Place the subject of the action within the dangling modifier. For example, after Jude finished dinner, he turned on the cricket match. And 3. Combine the phrase and the clause. For example, Jude turned on the cricket match after finishing dinner. How might you correct the following sentence? Remember questions to clarify. What is the modifier? What does it describe, clarify, or give more details about? Do you need to insert a doer? Where should the modifier be placed? Possible revisions. Dangling modifiers often show up at the beginning or end of a sentence. They are often indicated by an ing verb or a to plus verb phrase. We correct dangling modifiers by 1. Naming the appropriate or logical doer of the action as the subject of the main clause. 2. Placing the subject of the action within the dangling modifier. Or 3. By combining the phrase and the clause. Watch out. If we put modifiers in the wrong place, then we add details about the wrong thing. Until we meet again. And if the means allow, rewatch, like, and share the video.